Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. We're going to do two things real quick. We're going to do a 15 PED hunt, and I'm going to talk about my painting.
Hey guys, so thanks for watching this video. We're going to do two different things real quick. I'm getting ready to do some live streams, I hope. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Facebook or YouTube, but the edited version of those live streams are going to make it into, I think, a spliced or put together a video of the hunt. So right now I'm doing these hunts, and I've talked about wanting to do 4 hunts with the regular Bukin and the Scout Armor, and 4 with the regular Bukin and the Vivo S10. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I still have some time to go ahead and get my Bukin up. So I thought about doing a large hunt. My guess is maybe 100 PED, maybe a little more. And then basically I'm going to go until my Bukin hits tier 1 so I can see what it wants to tier, and then go ahead and then do then get it adjusted, see if it drops, which I've been told it will. And then when I get back up to tier 1 again, then I'll see what it takes to tier up an adjusted Bukin. But anyways, here's the videos I want to put in here talking about the different miniatures I'm doing or painting for a client that I one time had who's also a friend. And I'll go ahead and show you the supplies I got. And then later I'll show you the video with the miniatures I'm painting.
Alright guys, so I want to talk real quickly about it. There's a longtime friend of mine who I used to have a painting business where I'd paint war miniatures for a game. For games. It didn't matter really what game. It was Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40k. You'd have I can't remember all the name of the games, but the big ones were there. You know, War Machine, that type of stuff. Painted well over 1,000 miniatures, but we'll just go with hundreds and hundreds of miniatures. I don't know if I could say multiples and multiples of thousands, but I did it for over a year, and I was the only one doing it, so it was a lot of miniatures, and I did a lot. I spent a lot of time trying to get people versus maybe charging a more fair price for me, just because I wanted to be cool, and you know, a lot of things in retrospect I would have done differently. I know more about that space, and I don't think I'd be so influenced by the other people that were doing it back then, and I would have made my own decisions and had maybe a better business plan. Anyways, so I have 2 projects I've been meaning to do. One's with a friend. Warhammer Fantasy Battle basically came to an end, and he wasn't worried about his miniatures, and he basically said keep them. And then, you know, a few years later, he's like, you know, they brought Warhammer Fantasy Battle or something like it back. Can you finish those miniatures? And I said, yeah. Well, I found out, you know, that turned into, well, you know, 11 months from now, well, I'm going to be in your area. Why don't we meet up? Now he kind of moved away, so I haven't seen him in a while, and now it's like a month away, and I really kind of need to get those miniatures done. So we're going to go ahead and do them. So I'm going to go ahead and put some slides up here so you can take a look at them. His army is the Empire Army. He and I both can't remember, because it was like 7 years ago that we talked about painting these miniatures, and I don't have those emails anymore. What colors he wants, so I'm going to go with sort of generic colors for the Empire Army. Yeah, so here you can see he's got a bunch of riflemen, that type of stuff, and then he's got a bunch of spearmen. Both those are pretty cheap units. One's ranged, one's melee. The nice thing about spears is they can attack multiple ranks. You can get 3 ranks instead of 2 ranks. He has 1 command staff, so he was very light in command, which is common with Empire. The range doesn't often have command in it. But he has a heavy hero selection, with what looks like a warrior priest. Then he has a mage, and then he has an actual melee hero, which is it's a fairly typical spread. And then you have the mage on the horse to keep him away from other units, because the horse has basically double the movement of everyone else. So it keeps him out of other people's ranged, and it keeps him out of other people's melee. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do pictures of this, but I had to go buy some supplies, and you can see those right through here. Yeah, as I paint these up, I'll probably post some of these throughout these other 15 PED movie or videos, not movies. And you guys can kind of join me on the process. I'm hoping to maybe do some sort of live stream when I'm like sweating or whatever, and me just painting. I'm kind of wanting to get back into the painting of things. I haven't done it in a long time, so I might be a little rusty, but I think people understand that too. But yeah, 2009 to like 2012, during that period of time, I started a business that didn't work, and painted a whole lot of miniatures and gained a whole lot of miniatures I now have to get rid of. I don't want them. I have tens of thousands of miniatures I need to paint and get rid of. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later. Hope you guys enjoy this section of the video. Back to the hunt.
So in this video here, I was thinking initially I was going to call it straight up the middle. There's this big congestion of Monuras. And I was like, alright, I'm going to go there with no armor, no anything. I'm just going to shoot these things in the face and do this. As you can see, sometimes it gets a little hairy, a little risky. I took a little more risk than I really probably should have. I did end up dying, which I thought, man, that's kind of silly. I have done this push again since then, and I didn't actually die. But you know, it's alright. Yeah, I got a little bit of extra use out of the Vivo S10, and maybe a little bit better loot because of it. But you know, it was a good hunt, and it was definitely a good push. You can see that I ended up having problems with them coming up behind me and swarming me and that type of stuff, and I just had to keep pushing through to get through it. These hunts are kind of important because I'm going to kind of pick a winner. I talked a little bit about doing like a big 100 PED hunt at the end of these essentially 8 hunts, so that I can get that through. Now if you do 8 times 15, obviously it comes out to be 120, so I know it's going to be more than 100 PED, but I'm just setting, I want to get 100 PED of ammo, and then when I get that 100 PED of ammo and I have to recycle it or, you know, burn through it to do that, I'm going to select off a piece and then do that, and then we'll see what ends up happening. But we'll just, you know, do that and go from there and see what we get. But I'm not sure if I'm doing the Scout version or the Vivo S10 version of this hunt. I need to kind of look at these 8 hunts and then decide which one is the winner out of these 4 hunts. And then I want to go do a big hunt where it's a big cycle, several hours long, most of a day probably. I figure about 2.5 hours, 2 hours probably at a minimum. And then I gotta somehow get that, even if I did that at ×3 speed, which is what this is here, that's still, was that 45 minutes or something like that? That's still a lot. So 45 minutes is pretty substantial. It's more than that. 2.5 hours, let's say it's 3, that's going to be an hour-long video. I guess it'll be 45 minutes. So it is going to be a very long video. If I were to be painting miniatures while I did that, that would make a lot of sense. I could make a nice 45-minute, hour-long hunt, maybe do it on ×2 speed, and I could be sitting there painting. Now the live stream would actually be me painting while I'm sweating, so it's going to be a little bit of an interruption, but I'm painting, and then the video you'd watch of this big hunt would be me sitting there painting, and then occasionally I would voice over, I guess you could say, what I was doing with the live stream stuff, and then tell you what's going on in the video, if there's anything that's cool happens, or if I get anything specific. The other thing I thought about doing is, okay, I do this, I get my Bukin up to that, or I don't, and you know, maybe the next time, instead of doing an hour-long version of this, maybe I go do an hour-long version of a Gallard hunt, with the best way of doing a Gallard hunt, which is probably no armor. And then we just go that way, and that would be not sweating or anything. I would literally, that'd be an absolute murder fest. But if I did that, then that would hopefully get me the 1,000 Gallards I need. So if I don't get my Bukin to level 1 with this, and it's not even close, maybe it slows down, then I'm thinking about doing a Gallard hunt afterwards. If you want to see that, let me know down below what you guys are thinking, and I'll see if I can do that in addition. Sorry, I got a little something to cut my throat. I just got off work, so it's kind of been a day. Sorry, what's that? But there we go. That feels a lot better. So yeah, it would be. Hopefully I'll get to that, and even if I smash into that at, you know, with the Gallards at 100, I still want to get with my Bukin at max. Maybe I'll switch to my pistol, and I'll get my 1,000 kills on that, so I get through stage 3 of the Gallards, and I'll be on stage 4 both for the Gallards and for the Monuras. I want to say the stage 3 Gallards is a pretty awesome one, so that's why I'm kind of looking at that. Again, this mission here, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I'll post that at the end, just like I do with all my videos. I'm getting some of the rare socket 1 stuff, and the rarer, I should say, not rare, more uncommon, I guess. And the tier 1 component stuff drops from these guys fairly regular. One of the things I've noticed is as I've started to get fewer skills, because maybe the mobs aren't even reaching me anymore, they're just dying before they get to me. So I'm not getting the defensive skills. My loot has actually gotten better. There is that total amount of, you know, plus or minus or whatever that you hear about, where if you're gaining skills, you're probably not getting as much loot. Well, as I started to do this, and I started to get maybe a little less skills all around, I'm just getting rifle skills now instead of defensive and rifle skills. It seems that I'm getting more and more rare things, and I don't want to get into that to spoil those videos, but coming up in the future of these, let me just kind of bump the idea, shall we say, that some of the loot gets to be more and more interesting, and some of it has some pretty good markup. The highest markup item I have ever found, except for fruit, of course, and that type of stuff, and sweat, I actually found in one of my future hunts while hunting these Monuras. It was over 300,000%, so that's pretty doggone high. Anyways, guys, if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Follow along on the playlist to see more videos like this. I'm also doing some stuff on Facebook. I recently was in Entropia Universe group. It's the one with about 4,000 people, a little less than that. If you guys want to say hi there, you can find me on Facebook under the name DM Zone. Hope you guys enjoy that. And here's my statistics so you guys can see how I did in this particular hunt. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day and keep earning that PED.